Back to the Titanium Hangar, this is Mike, and I'm coming at you with a weekly news and review for June 21st, 2020, and I've got to say, the Transformers franchise has more and more news every single week, week in, week out, and I can't say that about any other franchise. Maybe I'm wrong, but let's get right into it. Okay, starting out with some cool stuff at Show Z. There's this Xiaomi Hasbro version of Bumblebee. The thing about this is, it's kind of like Legos. We saw the Optimus Prime. We saw a few things about it. It's going to be 16 inches tall. There's not a price on it just yet. But if you like Lego kind of stuff, or building stuff, or maybe you do that with the family, that would be pretty cool. They're also coming out with the Megatron. And the Megatron looks pretty cool. If you like the Lego look and all that building. And I really do think it's interesting that you can build these kinds of kits, and that it actually has alt mode, so pretty cool. Now, I feel like I check Show Z every single day, and I don't know how this slipped by me, but Coot went up for pre-order, and pre-orders sold out, like, instantaneously. So, that kind of sucked. I was really hoping to say, hey, pre-order your Coot at Show Z, but they sold out so fast. But good news, they actually have shared in stock. It's a little more expensive. It's $125 now, but I think that's better than the secondary market prices. And I do want to say real quick about Show Z, it's taken me about 2 months to get my stuff. That's why I haven't had a lot of stuff from them to review. Not a lot of stuff coming, and I think it's going to hit like all at the exact same time. And it's well worth it. There's 2 reasons I still feel like it's worth it to order from Show Z versus some of the US ones, because I have pre-orders in with them, and the pre-orders I have in with them are sold out everywhere. And so that's one reason. Another reason is I use my source points and all that stuff, or their points, the reward points. And with that, it makes them so much cheaper. It's just like cheaper. There's nobody that can meet the price, even with these crazy times. And now for one of the bigger news articles or items today. X-Transbots is reissuing their Endress and the Swarm team with a shiny metallic blue and metallic everything. A repaint, redeco. A lot of this stuff was just painted plastic. Unpainted plastic, rather. And the thing is, in the first run, it looked good. I thought the first one looked good, but I think this one looks so much better. I actually can't wait to get it in my hands. It's going to look a whole lot better. Here's next to Hot Rod. Just look at how shiny that is. Now, the original one was pretty shiny, but this appears to be painted head to toe, just really decked out. Even his Target Master looks like it's got a new refreshing paint job, and I'm in for this. So it's $160 at Show Z, and then it's like $175 everywhere else, so still cheaper at Show Z. So if you go with the Swarm team, which you'll get the Curse, the Bane, and the Wrath, and then you get Andrus as a separate one. So they're technically all different figures because they come with different accessories and I think face swaps. So that's the way it is. And then you can put the boxes together and have this nice scene. You can have them all fly around as sweeps. But I have to admit, I mean, looking at this picture, I just don't see much variation in the faces in each individual one. But it's still cool if you really want to have a big group of these guys. $400 for the Swarm team, $160 just for Endress. So we've seen some pictures this week, some 3D renders of R45, the MMC Namano partner. Anyway, this got me excited, kind of hoping, well, is this what their larger cassette is going to be? Is this the eject and rewind mold? Is that what it's going to be? But I don't think that's what it is, because it doesn't really match this so much. So that might just either be something they're not going to make, or more like their most recent Ravage they put out. We're getting yet more pictures of Kaczynski, and we really just need to release this bad boy. And as cool as it is in bot mode, and as cool as it is in alt mode, the doors open. That's really cool. That's awesome. It's got a nice sleek look to it in alt mode. And then the bot mode, it seems like he's got all the posability you need. He's going to fit right in. And I think DX9 actually, I like the height. And I think they look good. So what I've seen with DX9 is great. But all I really want him for is limbs to finish my Minosaur. He's going to just stand on the shelf as an arm. So all the other stuff doesn't really bother me so much. Just get it released. So we've got more pictures of fans' hobby Athena getting shown, and not really sure why the colored looks like cutting boards. If you're from the restaurant industry, it looks like cutting boards. But there she is. Hopefully she's getting released soon. Now this is kind of interesting. There was a video they put out that showed as you open this chest, then the tech spec readings show up. So you don't plug a head in for the tech spec readings. You open the chest and then it spins. That's actually a really interesting design. So just open the chest and it takes it to it, as opposed to the head making those readings. So I thought that was a really cool idea. Really interesting. Hope they incorporate that in other Headmasters. So talking about one Finbot, I'll talk about another Finbot, but we've talked enough about this one. But out of like 7 or 8 pictures, I only wanted to show this one picture, showing the stability of her standing on her own on one foot. I think that's outstanding. Like, if you could do that with a Transformer, I can't do that with any current RC that's on there unless MMCs can do it. Now, I might be able to do it with MMCs. I don't know. This is outstanding if you could do this without any other help. I mean, it doesn't look like it needs help, but it's probably a bit of time to get it to pose like that. But really awesome. And that's Firebird Nicey, by the way. So the lemon tree, the lemon doesn't fall much from the tree, or far from the tree, with this Soundwave. Now, the thing is, we've seen pictures of this before. I was really expecting to see these pictures colored, so they keep putting out these gray prototype, gray scale pictures, and it does look good. It really does fit the part and fit the bill for a Bumblebee movie version of Soundwave. Now, I'm most excited about this, and it's this ravage coming out of his chest. I want to see how they do the cassettes. I'm a little bit addicted to cassettes. It's maybe unhealthy, but I like these Masterpiece cassettes, or that might even sell the figure for me if it comes with it. But here comes some articulation. I don't think it's going to be the most articulated figure out there. In fact, it looks a little bit behind the times. That looks like he's really struggling to get that kneeling pose in. But anyway, you're probably not going to pose it in something too extreme. I'm sure it'll have the ankle rockers and all that good stuff. I don't even know if it'd have the butterfly on the shoulders though. Here he goes from the side, and that looks exactly like what you saw in there. But I just can't wait to see the kind of paint they use. Are they going to use that reflective metallic paint? Because I think that's what they're doing with their Shockwave. So there were a lot of movie Masterpiece Starscream pictures and comparisons. And here he is next to some other movie Masterpiece stuff. Thing is, I think he looks good. I think he fits well. I didn't realize he'd be bigger than Optimus Prime. So maybe that's not even the MP Optimus Prime. That might be something else. But I think that is the MP Optimus Prime. But looking at him, he's big, and he's pretty much right the same size as Megatron. He looks clean, but in this picture, this is how you see how much cleaner he looks than the other versions that are out there. I do think he cleans up well. I think he looks good for what he is, because he's not going for as clean of a look as a G1. The movie Masterpiece have a lot of kibble on purpose. So with that, I like the cleanest look that I can find. And the cleanest look, of course, is in alt mode. That does look beautiful. So this is a statue by Azure Team Studio, and it's a Cybertronian Optimus Prime, kind of in the heat of battle. What's going on right there? And it's a pretty cool looking statue. There's really no price, and there's no release date on it. So if you're into statues, you're in the statue game, I'm sure you already know where the price point is. It's pretty high. A little bit of Legends news. The Zeta version of the Toy World Fortress Maximus, and I think they called it Ford, and it's coming out soon. There's some more pictures and in-hand pictures from Weibo. So this is a nice looking version. I do like the metallic paint versus the Toy World, which was more of a flat paint. There's multitude of different base options or alt mode options that are out there, and I do think it looks good. It fits the part. I think this is more of what we think of when we think of the base mode option, but still, I think it looks great. I don't know, would you use this in your Legends collection as a base? I kind of think if you're going to use the base, you probably want to go with a Titans one. It would look better, in my opinion. I think this would look better on your Legends shelf in bot mode. but it still looks good. Just I'm talking scale. And speaking of scale, that's kind of why I'm torn whether I'd want to get this or just, use a Titan with Legends. So I still probably will get this because it does look so good. Chugging right along into some Hasbro mainline Chug stuff. So we've seen box art before for this Earthrise version of the Commander class Skylings. Now it's already getting released in the UK. Hopefully we see it over here in the US and other countries very soon. But it is kind of exciting. For $80 though, I do think that the Commander class is giving us our value. It is significantly better than what they've ever put out with the Leader class. More on point. They put the time and money and effort into it. And they fill the majority of the gaps. They do what they should do. So I really think that it's worth it, and I'm excited for it. Okay, so we've got the box for the Alternate Universe Optimus Prime, which I do believe, if I'm not wrong, I might be mistaken, it's the sleep mode, which he's not asleep, he's dead, but the sleep mode Optimus Prime for the Generation Select, and it looks to be an Amazon exclusive. So here's the box for it, and if you're looking for that, then you might want to be checking Amazon. So there are some unofficial, better picks of hubcap, and so this is pretty much the exact same thing as Cliff Jumper. So you're going to spend $20 on a Legends mini bot, and you know what? I don't know if they've ever done a hubcap in the modern era. I might have missed it back in the classics. They might have, or something along those lines. So yeah, definitely a figure that you'd want to get. I do think that the Cliff Jumper was done well. I like the way it looks and works. Still, I don't feel like it's worth the $20. But if you look at it in averages, then I guess it averages out, because some like Hoist are definitely worth the money. And speaking of worth the money, I don't think this is a bad deal. Although it's just a reissue of the exact same thing we've already gotten in the past. I think it was considered the Titan Returns line, even though they don't have Headmaster gimmick, but they were Legends at the time, and Legends and Titan Returns didn't have the Headmaster. So anyway, 2 Legends figures packed together for $25, and this is the packaging, and I think the packaging looks good. I actually like the way this looks better than the first go around when you ordered from the Japanese version that had both of these packed together. This looks good. And here's how they scale next to the deluxe version of Cliff Jumper. So there it is, and yeah, it's the same old thing that we already have. So we've got this Hongli TV Starscream, and this is a colored prototype of it. And this is different. It's highly stylized, and it transforms into a bird, and we're going to see that here in a second. And so I don't really know how many people are in on this, but kind of reminds me of that Cheetor kind of thing that we had going on, and that Generation Toy one that turned into a bull that sideswipe. And so this kind of stuff, it seems to be a new trend, and it's based off of an art book. So anyhow, I don't know if you're in on it, but if you are, it's coming out soon. Well, maybe not soon. It's been in the works since 2018, which these things usually take a few years. But here it is in the bird mode, and it does have kind of a stand it's on. So if there's something you're in for, TV Starscream. So somebody made a custom out of a punch, counterpunch. So this point blank looks really good. It really fits the character very well. And I never would have thought about doing this. And first of all, I don't think I have the skill to do it. This looks amazing. Imagine taking it completely apart to repaint every aspect of it to look like this. That's really awesome. Got to give some shout out to skill there. Here he's next to Crosshairs, and that looks good. I have to admit, that's a nice looking little pair and setup. And I wish I had the skill for this, or I guess the time and determination along with it. So getting into a couple of Cyberverse things. So here is the Ultimate Class Iaconus, and Iaconus, like Iacon. And don't have any other pictures in this and packaging shot. So I don't know much about it. I don't know if this character was just for Cyberverse, but it looks like a beefy character. And they're coming out with Thunder Howl, which is another beefy character. And again, Cyberverse, very, very simple transformations, very, very simple and limited articulation, but still looks pretty cool. It is a thing that's out there, and a lot of people do like these. I do think Cyberverse is getting a little bit better. Some of the figures I've picked up like before. Some of them are advancing a little bit. They're doing more with it, so I like that. This thing transforms into this thing here, so yeah. So we're supposed to be getting a War for Cybertron show that's coming out, but with all of the going-ons in 2020, obviously it's pushed back. It's not going to hit its deadline. So there it is. It's still coming. It's just going to be delayed, and we don't know exactly how long. A bit indefinite. So a handful of things that I've seen on the internet this week that I think are pretty cool. NECA is putting out these alien figures, which seem to be extremely lifelike. Very good. Probably the best alien figures ever made. And the thing is, they're delayed also, but it's to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Series 1 of the Alien. So, looks good. If it's something you're into, check it out. NECA. There's also a 3.75-inch version of RoboCop by Hiya Toys. And the thing about this is, I was kind of excited about it myself, hoping that you could get a 3.75-inch figure that you could put the gun in his leg. I mean, that's just the feature in every RoboCop out there that I wanted to see, and I don't see it, but it still looks cool. And I do have a couple of versions of RoboCop, just not a 3.75-inch that puts the gun in his leg. That's what I want. And NECA's supposed to be putting out a whole bunch more of their Turtles, really high-end Turtles here. And this one is actually in a box that looks like a VHS cassette. This is Metalhead, and it's going to be a Target exclusive. So starting with a little bit of Star Wars stuff, you know, it's Father's Day. They're supposed to be 25% off if you go to Entertainment Earth and order Star Wars stuff. Now, I don't know if it has to do with pre-orders because it didn't say. And the vast majority of stuff on there that people are interested in are the pre-orders. But hopefully it does include pre-orders and 25% off. You got to put a code in. So Star Wars Dad or something like that. So check it out. So tomorrow on the 22nd at 3 p.m. Eastern, Hasbro Pulse's Facebook page is going to have another one of these fan first, well, Mondays. And they're going to have a live stream. It's usually like an hour long. And I don't really know what it's going to be about, which is what it's all about. Nobody knows what it's going to be about. So, be an interesting watch. So, tune in for it if you want to see that. So, the most interesting news going on this week with Star Wars is rumors again. But there's supposed to be a 6-inch Black Series Captain Cardinal, a Galaxy's Edge exclusive. And that does look like a pretty cool figure. So, it'd be something that people would want. But this is just a rumor still. Also, there's supposed to be a Season 7 of the Clone Wars AHSOKA, a Clone Wars Night Owl Mandalorian, yet another Clone Wars AHSOKA Loyalist Trooper. So I don't know if that is, you know what, that might be a clone with that face paint and stuff. And a Clone Wars Mandalore Trooper. So yeah, not a whole lot of stuff going on in the Star Wars world these days. Probably will when there's more media behind it. Of course, Transformers doesn't need the media for it to sell well. Let me know what you think about this week's Weekly News and Review. What else did I miss? Like and subscribe. Titanium Hanger, out.